Well, this is a 5-pin bow sight. And as you can see, there's 5 different pins in there. I've set them, I've adjusted them, sighted them in for this specific bow with specific arrows to hit the target at those known distances. Now, there's something though that happens when you're shooting, whether it's with a firearm or with a bow, that when the pin or the crosshairs gets close to the target, your subconscious mind starts to play tricks with you, and it's called target panic, where you start to anticipate the shot, rush to the shot. You start to lose your form because you so much want to hit the target and you're afraid you're going to miss it. It's a subconscious thing you really have to work with. But there's a phenomena that happens with 5-pin bow sights, multi-pin bow sights, where if you're in between distance, say 35 yards, well, there's no pin for that. You have to split the difference between the 30 and the 40-yard pin. But what happens is the focus is removed from just on the pin and just on hitting the right spot, and the focus becomes on the target. The pins kind of fade a little bit into the periphery, and the rest takes care of itself. Well, there's an enemy of your soul that tries to do the same thing. Get our eyes off the long term, off the true identity. He's been doing it since the beginning of time. He went to Adam and Eve in the garden and said, oh, the reason God doesn't want you to eat the fruit from that tree is because he knows the day you do it, your eyes will be open and you'll be like him. Well, the lie was that they weren't already like God. They were already made in his image. In male and female, he created them in his image. They're as much like God as they were ever going to be. But Satan got their eyes onto the short term. I could fix this. I can do better. And we all know how that worked out. But he's doing the same today. If you get up in the morning, you want to do the right thing. You want to avoid doing the wrong thing. But if you're a Christ follower and that is your primary focus, or if you're not a Christ follower, it's the same thing. If your primary focus is doing the right thing and avoid doing the wrong thing, the focus is on the do's and the don'ts, and we're forgetting the heart of God, who God says he is and who he says you are. He says, I knew you from before the foundations of the earth. I knit you together in your mother's womb. You are made in my image. And if you're a Christ follower, he calls you a saint, actually. Not because you're perfect, not because you've earned it, not because you've done enough do's and avoided enough don'ts. Because if it was based on that, now it's based on your merit. It's not based on merit. It's based on who he is and who he says you are. But the interesting thing is when you focus on his heart, who he is, and what he says about you, the do's and the don'ts kind of fade into the periphery because it's about him, not about us doing right and wrong. And if you're not a Christ follower, we invite you to become one because it changes everything. Changes our focus off of ourselves and trying to do better, focusing on him, who he is, who he says you are. That changes everything. Welcome to the Great Awakening.